intimate apparel kind of stick out to me and memorable to me is the fact that it was written in, I think, 2003, but it actually took place in 1903. It was kind of crazy because the person that wrote this obviously did not live in this time and didn't really know exactly what happened this time, but they did a great job of kind of setting the area and setting the space so that the reader understood what was going on and what the surroundings were. I also thought the whole love story in different countries definitely was a memorable thing for this play. Um, the three major conflicts I thought were number one, that Esther couldn't read and write. So one of her clients, Mrs. Van Buren, had to read and write the letters that Esther and George were corresponding back and forth with overseas. Esther couldn't really have an intimate relationship with George because she was sharing all this information with Mrs. Van Buren. I think that is a huge conflict within the relationship. Second is just the fact that George and Esther agreed to get married when he came over here. They had no idea what the personalities were like of each other. They had never met each other, and this finally resulted in George being not a very good husband and kind of ruining Esther's relationship and her life in this part. It was a huge conflict, and it was kind of a crazy way that it happened too. The third thing of conflict was Esther's friend Mamie, the fact that she was a prostitute and that she kind of had an affair with George. Esther kind of confided in Mamie and felt comfortable with her, and then Mamie stabbed her in the back by going after George. So, number three, the R that I picked was reinforce. Esther isn't necessarily free. She is, but she's still getting paid close to nothing. She is treated differently than maybe a white seamstress would, or maybe even a seamstress would not be white. Her parents were slaves, and it kind of shows that in this time, even if you were black, even though the law said that blacks still had freedoms, it was not always like that. So I think number four, I think yes, that some racial prejudice is still around today. Definitely in the South more because of the history of our country, the history of the Civil War and things like that. I think that in this day and age, it has become better for all races. Everyone's being treated more equally, and I think that this country is getting better at treating everybody better and equally.